Hi air signs, this is kOri with the AstroBits channel. I'm going to make sure I do you guys' reading first because I missed you for the last period. I was a little bit exhausted and I had a couple of appointments and just a lot of other obligations and responsibilities came up in the midst of me trying to get those readings done. It didn't seem fair to give you guys a shortened period or to be unprepared. So what I'd like to do to make it up to you is you guys will get a bonus reading for the full moon in Scorpio at the end of the month. I'm sorry, the full moon in Aries at the end of the month. I keep thinking of October and Scorpio season, and y'all know I'm Scorpio rising, so I'm excited. Don't judge me. Anyways, we have cards popping out already. The Queen of Swords in reverse. Don't let your pain get the better of you during this period, you guys. Don't let your emotions block your capacity for clarity, logic, strategic forward movement. Even though we're Mars retrograde and we're, reviewing the ways that we get what we want, make sure that you're separating your emotions from the stories that your emotions are telling you, and using that air sign logic and discernment to get to the truth, the real truth, the reality of a situation. So we're going to jump into it. I'm not going to do too many preliminaries. There's a lot of big transits coming up. Shout out to Zodiac Poetry Astrology, who's one of my favorites. Aya Samadi also has a lot of insight into the transits that we're currently undergoing and how they connect to world events and personal events. There's a lot of astrologers. Eventually I'm going to make a list of my favorites so that you guys can get to them directly. But in the meantime, for this period, just keep in mind that we're all experiencing the same intensity as you all. It's just as overwhelming for us to be dealing with all the feelings, the anger, and the reactivity that's coming up. And that we'll get through it. So here we go, air signs. Spirit, please clear the deck of all previous readings and allow me to channel clear and concise messages that facilitate healing, abundance, clarity, growth, and joy in the lives of the air signs, Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini for the period of September 21st through the 30th of 2020. I just want to pause and look at these cards so far. So we had a whole stack jump out. This is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, the Hermit in reverse, the Empress in reverse, and the Eight of Cups in reverse. So somebody's running away from something. Somebody doesn't want to put the effort in. Somebody doesn't see a potential for growth. They may have stepped away from this situation and come back to it only to find that nothing had changed or improved in a situation. And so they are going quickly in a new direction, which is very much like the Knight of Wands, always novel, always looking for something new. This is Sagittarian energy. Aries and Leo may also feature for some of you. There's definitely also very strong Virgo energy here with the Pentacles here and the Hermit showing up. But yeah, it looks like you guys are looking to go off in a new direction, or somebody that you're dealing with, possibly a fire energy, or somebody who's very passionate, creative, charismatic, and forward focused. Has detached or is separating themselves physically from a situation in which there doesn't appear to be a potential for growth, and they have lost patience, and so they're choosing to detach. So we are going to start with the sign of Libra, since this reading does begin for the period before Libra reading starts on the 22nd with the fall equinox. Hopefully you guys with Mars retrograde opposing you for the next couple of months are able to move through this energy towards clarity and light on the other side. I know that it's going to be tense for you guys, especially in terms of your relationships. There's going to be a desire to distinguish yourself, to be seen as an individual, to be treated as an individual entity even within your bonds. And I know that that's going to be it can be a disconcerting energy for Libras to prioritize themselves, to state their opinions in no uncertain terms without facilitating. However, it's possible. Right now we have the Ace of Swords in reverse followed by the Knight of Swords in reverse. So it's a matter of you know, your willingness to see the truth. And with Aries, it's not about others. You know, other people may influence your decisions, may impact your situations, may in some way have some sort of energetic bleed over, or bleed through into what you're dealing with or what you're trying to manifest. But you guys have a ton of sword energy. But ultimately, it's your decision, and it's about your I am. That's what Aries rules. It's about what you truly want, not what you think is acceptable to desire or to have. What you truly want, how you feel most comfortable going about getting it, and what's actually required of you to do to go about getting what you want, how you express yourself sexually, creatively, how assertive you are, etc. All of these are Aries themes that Libra will be dealing with throughout this period. And of course, this is going to be exacerbated by the fact that both Capricorn and Aries are in conflict conversations with your sign, Libra. So right now we have the Queen of Swords in the upright jumping out, followed by the Seven of Pentacles again in the upright. And I'm done talking. I'm just going to jump into the reading and see what you guys get. Excuse the noise. Spirit, please allow me to channel clear and concise messages for the sign of Libra from September 21st to 2020. What will they be looking at? What can they do to make the best of this energy? What's impacting them in the environment, and what's in the periphery? I just want to do one more shuffle, Libra. All right, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Cups in the reverse. We have the King of Swords in your spread, the Judgment card, wow, and the Outcome, Magician in reverse. Okay, let's get into this. Try not to be harsh with you guys, but this is some intense and difficult energy, and it looks like you guys have a really strong influence here. So let's get into it. So in the past, we have the Ace of Swords, Libra. This is air's energy, so it's your energy. You could definitely be dealing with another air sign, a Gemini or an Aquarius here. We have a lot of air showing up, and we're definitely going to get to that. But this is about not being able to see the truth. Not being able to communicate effectively according to your intentions and according to what it is that you're trying to get as a result of your communication. This is when, you know, because you don't have all the information, or because there's deceit or secrecy, or because there's problematic communication skills on your part, or the people, or the part of the people you're dealing with. It's like there's a cutoff here. There's a silence. There's a ghosting. There's tension and conflict here with the Ace of Swords being in reverse, but the communication isn't facilitating a resolution of the problem. And the reason for that is because somebody's pissed off. And that's the past. This is the past here. This is the lack of clarity, the lack of the communication. But now somebody they're done being quiet, and they're pissed off, and they're wanting to speak out. This is a very combative energy. This is a very vindictive energy. This is somebody who is upset, and so they are carrying their truth, their perspective. They're using their logic and detachment as a weapon. You know, in the reverse, the Knights are still moving. Whether they're in the upright or in the reverse, it's how they are moving that comes under question when it becomes in reverse. And this is ineffective. This is, you know, what this person is saying may be true. What this person is saying may be valid. Their anger even may very well be valid, but their presentation is so problematic, so harsh. It's intended to kill. It's intended to cut. It's intended to harm, to maim, to cause pain, to incite the anger that they're feeling. It's as if they're channeling the energy. Their only way that they know how to get their point across is to go above and beyond, you know, to use below the belt communication. This person is very much the person standing alone at the end of the Five of Swords. So just keep that in mind. This can be you or somebody you're dealing with, but either way is very ineffective. And what you have unbeknownst to you is the Queen of Swords in the upright. So you have somebody who has already received the truth. They may have been hurt by this difficult communication, by this cutoff, by this uncertainty in this situation. But what's actually occurring here is that this person is sitting with their truth. They're processing it. They're dealing with it, and they're looking away. They're looking clearly away from the Knight of Swords. They've turned their back and they protected themselves from this combative energy, from this person who wants to cut them down, tell lies about them, because a lot of times this person is using their words to cause harm, and more often than not, the swords in reverse indicate deceit, deception, dishonesty, manipulation by use of words and communication. But this person knows the truth. They've already gotten the truth. They are in a place of power because they understand not only themselves and the pain that they've gone through, which has allowed them to see the dynamics working as they play out, but they've also they've also processed their pain. They also have this person being in the past, showing up in the past and the present, shows that they've probably dealt with this person before. You know, they've already learned everything they need to know about how to deal with this person. And this is very much like when you're dealing with a narcissistic energy and you have to go cold, no contact. That's what this looks like. Let's see here. This is Aquarian energy specifically. I know that in tarot books, people read the queens as cardinal. I personally read them as fixed energetically because they are receptive. So they're not going out and getting, but they're drawing to them what it is that reflects their element. So then in your hopes and fears, Libra, you have the Seven of Pentacles in the upright. And you're hoping that what it is that you've invested in is going to come to fruition in equal measure according to what you put out. However, you may be losing patience or being drained by continuing to put in energy in wait of something later. It's almost like it's calling everything out of you, but you don't see yet signs of growth, signs of fruition, signs that that your return is equal to your output. This is Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, specifically Capricorn. But also you need to be careful that you're not overly investing into something that has no potential to grow, because a lot of times this is somebody who's planted seeds in infertile soil, or they planted problematic seeds, or they haven't put in the right type or amount of care, consideration, and nurturing into something that they wish to grow. And so it's unlikely to manifest in the material way. In your environment, you have even more energy. You have the King of Swords showing up, and I'm going to show you the spread. The King of Swords is mirroring the Queen of Swords. They're literally across from each other in this spread. So what I see is that this person has moved on from that Knight of Swords reverse energy of jealousy, vindictiveness, below the belt communication. And what they've done is they've they've sought out somebody who can match them. They've sought out somebody who acts on the truth, who stands in their power, who applies their logic, communication, and strategy in similar ways to them, and processes their emotions in the same way. This is somebody, this is a partnership here. This is a symbiosis. This is, not opposite energies, but complementary energies. The two halves that make a whole, and it's not so much that they're two halves, they're the two whole people that come together to create something better than themselves. So just think about that as because in your environment, you have this person here, this King of Swords, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, particularly Libra energy. So there, you could be dealing with another Libra. This person is very charming. They have great intentions. They have clarity. They have the power of imagination to use, but they also are very strategic. This is somebody who's intellectual. They want the facts, the truth, the information, the proof. And they communicate in such a way as to get that, to get that out of people when they're talking to them. What they're looking for is the truth, the information that they can use to facilitate progress in their lives. This is somebody who's very honest. They're very straightforward. They're likely to be very detached in the way that they talk to you. So don't expect that just because this person is aware that you've gone through some difficult times, that they're going to mince words with you, or coddle your feelings, because that's unlikely to be the case. This person is operating very much like you. They can be very diplomatic. They can be, but they're going to be honest. They're going to tell the truth as they see it. They may put it in a way that's palatable, or they could put it in a way that's harsh. What that depends on is the receptivity of the queen. So just keep that in mind. And then your advice is judgment in reverse. So you need to pause on making any irrevocable decisions, Libra. This is Plutonian energy. There's a transformation in a situation taking place. There's still this conflict. This is in your present right now. So this is what's happening from the 21st through the 30th. And this is about conflict. This is about fights. This is somebody, this is harsh words going back and forth between two people who are very upset. And they're very upset because although they are, they're operating under their version of the truth, but they're facing somebody else who's operating under a different truth. And that's where the conflict comes in. The truth becomes used as a weapon when one person has to be right and one person has to be wrong in order to resolve a conflict. And quite frankly, that's not the way you resolve a conflict. I don't have to tell you guys that, Libra. But you know that you're dealing with somebody who may not be operating quite like you. This is not diplomatic energy. This is somebody who came to tell you exactly what they have to say, their perspective, their personal truth, and if they have to cut you down in order to get you to acknowledge this truth, that's what they'll do. And then you have this judgment card coming in as your advice. So in dealing with this person, in making the decision with regard to whether or not you are going to engage this person, communicate with this person, you need to make sure that you don't say anything that can be taken back, that you don't do anything that you don't make any decisions that you can't go back on. We have a lot of retrograde planets. Mercury is also getting ready to station retrograde in Scorpio next month. And so you just want to take some time before making any decisions to really ask the necessary questions, communicate your perspective and gauge their responses, synthesize the information before making any decisions, before making any plans, and before implementing anything that cannot be reversed, especially because the judgment, these are decisions that are life-changing in nature because it's major arcana. But once these decisions are made, this is the end. There is no going back from this. It's irrevocable. So just keep that in mind. Pause, because you're not seeing everything that you need to see, and everybody around you is not communicating the truth of the situation. They're communicating the truth of their perspective. This could be you. Be careful, Libra, that in your desire to be a diplomat, or to express the feeling that you've been treated unjustly, that you gauge your intentions, that you are honest with yourself about what your role is in this conflict, because conflicts don't arise usually when one person is at fault. It's a combination of two people's energies merging together that creates a conflict, which means both people are contributing. And until you see that part and accept your part, like this Queen of Swords has accepted her part in this conflict, until you see that your part in this conflict and create a logical plan to communicate that you understand your role, I really wouldn't make any decisions until you come to a place where you can understand how not to run into this kind of energy again. I wouldn't make any irrevocable, long-lasting, lifetime or far future decisions. Make plans. It's retrograde season. It's all about reviewing, digging up, and making new plans and adjusting to new information. But all the information isn't there yet. All the communication skills haven't been fully mastered yet. And that's why your outcome is the Magician in the reverse. Because this is an inability to use all of one's available resources in the proper ways in order to manifest one's intentions, Libra. This is Gemini, Virgo energy. You have literally every court card in the sword suit except the page. So I don't see this as incoming information. This is something that's already taking place. You're likely to be aware of this. If that doesn't resonate with you, this is probably not your reading. But this person is misusing their resources. They are misusing likely their sword in the reverse here. So they're misusing their mind. They're misusing the powers of their intellect. They are communicating ineffectively, and they're failing to apply detachment in situations that call for it. They may be ruthlessly detached in situations where they would do better to employ compassion and diplomacy. And overall, what this is, an imbalance, because the Magician, whether in the upright or in the reverse, has everything available to them that they need to manifest according to their intentions. But in the reverse, this person has problematic intentions. They're misusing their resources. They're available to them, but they don't know what to do with them in order to manifest from a place of integrity. The Magician in the reverse can certainly manifest and manipulate, but it's not from a place of integrity. What they manifest usually comes with bad karma attached to it because of the means by which they manifested their intentions. So be very careful of your motives, of your intentions, of your communication when you feel slighted. If you feel like you were right in a situation and that's going unacknowledged, then you need to be able to communicate that without tearing people down, without returning that energy that was directed at you, Libra. Because the consequences are likely not to be what you expect, and you won't be able to undo it. Just be careful. And I'm almost thinking of doing a separate reading just because this is so harsh. But if this resonated with you, send me a message at info@abitch.com. Drop a comment, likes, hit me up on Instagram at AstroB or Facebook, because I'm really curious about whose story this is and how it applies. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into the sign of Aquarius, which is the next air sign for this year. Hi Aquarius, this is kOri with the AstroBitch channel. I am here to do your reading for September 21st through the 30th. Just like I told Libra, for those of you who are skipping through the timestamps, I am going to do a bonus air sign reading to make up for the fact that I didn't do one for the last 10-day period. You can look out for that around the full moon in Aries on the 1st of October. So I'm just going to jump into the reading. Spirit, please clear the messages from all previous readings and allow me to channel clear, concise, and helpful messages that facilitate healing, abundance, joy, and personal growth in the lives of Aquarius for the period of September 21st through the 30th of 2020. Okay, so we have Page of Pentacles and the Hermit, possibly dealing with Virgo energy. Any additional messages for the sign of Aquarius from September 21st through the 20th? The Ten of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Two of Wands. I'm going to do a quick shuffle and cut to pull the rest of the cards for the sign of Aquarius from the 21st through the 30th of September 2020. Please offer me clear and concise messages that facilitate healing and abundance. Aquarius, September 21st through the 30th, 2020. Three of Swords, Page of Cups. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Cups. So there's a question about the options that are available to you, Aquarius. You have multiple options or choices. There's a decision needed to be made. You may need to choose one or more out of a variety or a plethora of options. However, you're confused about what underlies the presentation of each of these options and which one is likely to be most fulfilling for you overall. If you look closer at this card, what you see is that each cup shows you or hints at what's inside the cup. However, the confusion comes from the awareness that there's more beneath the surface that has yet to be seen. And so there's hesitation on choosing one option over another. However, a decision must be made, Aquarius. So let's jump into the rest of the reading. In the past, you have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is about grounded energy. It's fresh energy, it's youthful energy because it's a page. It's also about communication and learning about a specific element. The pages are all students, not just the Page of Swords, who happens to be the top student. But the Page of Pentacles in reverse is about ungrounded energy. It's about the lack of awareness or clarity about how to ground oneself, how to find success in the material realm, how to manifest. What are the first steps toward, what are the first steps necessary to take in order to manifest materially, in order to set yourself on a path that ensures growth, that ensures abundance, that ensures expansion. The Page of Pentacles is Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo energy. So you may be dealing with an earth sign if you don't have an earth placement, but everybody's dealing with Capricorn energy, so it may not be the case for you, Aquarius. But this is about being grounded. This is about learning to ground oneself, learning to handle one's finances responsibly, possibly being rejected for an offer of a job or rejecting a job, making a large purchase, for example, where you've lost a significant amount of money. But this is about, you know, an imbalance with regard to the earth element, the material resources, the physical body. Make sure that you're nurturing, make sure that you're taking the steps to handle your responsibilities, that you're identifying those steps, that you're asking for help if you need it, that you're providing help, that you know that you are of service, because a lot of times what it takes to receive is that we give, and we don't just give what we think people need or what we're comfortable with. We give them something that they can use, something that's valuable to them, you know, and learn people's love language. That's important. For some people, it's gifts, for example. In the current situation, you have the Hermit in the upright. And the Hermit in the upright is about solitude, but it's not, it can be about loneliness, but a lot of times it's not about loneliness. It's about necessary solitude. It's about the solitude that one takes when they need to process the experiences they've had, the lessons they've learned. They need to synthesize and integrate new information, new versions of themselves that are growing, the lessons that they've mastered and how they can use those going forward to teach and be of service to other people, because Virgo is of service, and we just came out of the new moon in Virgo 2 days ago. So this energy is definitely carrying into carrying into the beginning of the fall season for you, Aquarius. You may be dealing with a Virgo or have a Virgo placement, but this is about going within and being ruthlessly honest with oneself and about what you've learned, about who you've become, and about how your experiences are shaping you, and then taking that information, creating something that is uniquely you to bring out into the world once you decide to join in again, once you decide to engage interpersonally with others again, whether this is in regards to work, with the Page of Pentacles, whether this is in regard to your relationships. Once you choose to engage, you'll be engaging with a new self-awareness and with a new awareness of the world around you, based on your experiences and your processing of them and your acceptance of new truths and new versions of yourself that are necessary in order to improve the way that you engage. And I'm talking to myself here. I just looked back at my solar return reading, and it turns out for the rest of the year I'm going to be operating under Aquarian ascendant energy, so, and the Aquarius moon, so mind boggled. Literally, I tested as INTJ the other day, and I kid you not, I had a breakdown. So anyways, unbeknownst to you, and I just want to touch back on that, learning new things about yourself. I had an epiphany as I was talking about doing my solar return chart, Aquarius, seeking new means of gathering self-knowledge. For example, my personal example, I've spent a lot of time studying astrology. When I first started, it was because I didn't resonate with my sun sign and I wanted to understand why. So I started with, you know, what most new astrologers looking on the internet are running into. We're running into the Placidus system. However, now I'm looking at whole sign system, I'm looking at sidereal astrology, and what it's teaching me about myself is sort of filling in those blanks that were missing, or those blanks in my self-understanding and my understanding of astrology, because sometimes when you're thinking about things that apply to you, you gain new knowledge that can be applied for other people. But what it's teaching me new things about myself. It is filling in the blind spots of the system that I was using prior, and allowing me to provide a better service going forward to others, because I now have this expanded repertoire, this expanded body of knowledge and information to use and to gather additional wisdom with in application. So just think about how you use your solitude. Are you afraid of being alone? Are you bothered by being alone? Do you feel lonely, less than worthy when you're alone? What could you be doing with your solitude that would keep you from feeling those feelings? From going into shadow, if you notice, rather than holding a lantern like in the traditional card, this particular hermit has the light shining from behind them. So the light comes from addressing the shadow and then going back out into the world. You know, it's addressing what lies in the dark, in the corners, in the muck, gathering that information from within and allowing it to inform what you see when you look out this window and how you engage when you step outside of this room. But more importantly, how you separate yourself from everything that's occurring in your environment. Unbeknownst to you, you have the Ten of Wands. So there's a lot of responsibility that you're likely to have to take, or that somebody is taking on your behalf, because the Ten of Wands is about taking more than your fair share of the responsibility, the necessary task. This is Sagittarius energy specifically, but you could be dealing with any fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. This particular card is Saturn and Sagittarius. That may be one of your placements, but this is about having many things to do, having taken on your share of the responsibility and someone else's, and being overwhelmed. However, the tens are about coming to an ending. So somebody has taken on more responsibility than is their fair share in a project, in a relationship, in a work situation. And that's about to come to an end. Why? Because this person is overwhelmed and stressed out. And it's likely because you've stepped away from this situation, you know, sorry, they're backwards. But the way it actually looks is, you know, you are alone. You're going within, you're taking some time to reconsider all of the experience that you've had recently, make sense of them, process them, and come out with new meaning. But meanwhile, you've got your back turned to somebody who's stressed out and overwhelmed because they appear to be carrying your share of the burden or responsibility for a situation that either has come to an end, needs to come to an end, or is coming to an end during this period. Your hopes and fears are the Knight of Wands in the upright. This is Sagittarius energy. Again, could be dealing with a Leo or an Aries. But you're hoping for quick forward movement in a new direction. You're hoping to encounter new experiences. You're hoping to express your individuality with your actions and your expression, channeling your creativity for forward movement, for growth. This person gathers their wisdom through experience. That's what Sagittarian energy is all about. It's about being a sage. It's about, you know, following those creative and passionate impulses wherever they take you, and learning from whatever experience you encounter, good or bad. So that's what you're hoping for. You may actually be hoping for a fire sign to come towards you, because this person is very much in pursuit of whatever they find themselves attracted to. They're not waiting for it to come to them. In your environment, you have the Two of Wands. This is somebody who is making plans to improve a situation. They're making plans that they intend to implement, actions that they are looking to take, steps that they are looking to take on a plan that they're creating here. They're trying to manifest here. They're trying to move into the 3, where their actions are leading to results that go in their favor. This is somebody who's looking for greener pastures in the Two of Wands. And this is my personal interpretation. I always get the vibe from this card, Aquarius, that this person is looking for something better than what they've got right now, or what they've experienced up until this point. Again, this is more Aries, Leo, Sagittarian energy. I get the feeling that I'm talking to somebody who has fire placements. But in your environment, you have somebody who is looking to improve a situation, or they're looking for a better environment to operate in. And it's likely because this person is overburdened. This person is stressed. This person is overwhelmed. This person has taken on more than their fair share of the responsibility, and they're looking to put some of that weight down. And that may mean that they move into a situation that's more fitting and aligned for their plans. It's almost like, you know, you're ready to move forward. You know, you may be fearing that somebody else is getting ready to move forward. But this is already underway. Somebody's already making plans to move forward. You may not have to go anywhere, you know. Especially if this is a relationship situation. You may have to take on your share of the responsibility if this person doesn't complete the task. But it doesn't look like you're going to have to go out of your way to separate or create space from a relationship partner. If this is a work situation, somebody's looking for something new. They're either looking to move up the ladder for a new position. They're looking for additional responsibility or opportunity. They may be looking for a new job. If you're the subordinate, this person may be, you know, posting new hiring signs because they've been doing all the work. So just think about those kind of things. In a relationship, are you taking your fair share of responsibility, or are you so caught up in yourself and your experiences that you have failed to engage other people and meet their needs, or handle your own responsibilities, you know, according to expectation? And then your advice is the Three of Swords. So there's definitely a call to separate, to go it alone, but also to process. The Three of Swords is not just about pain. It's a swords card. It's about decisions that led to the hurt. It's about the communication, the truth that must be processed, because the 3 is about creating something from this experience here, from this pain, from this emotional drainage, from the deceit. But it's also about separating from things that from situations that cause you upheaval and chaos within. And your outcome is the Page of Cups. So it's very positive. I think that whatever this situation is, there's a need to separate Aquarius, possibly from a Virgo in energy or Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. You also have air here. You have all the elements represented. But this is about healing. This is about forgiveness. This is about renewal, emotional renewal, offering friendship, offering forgiveness, apologizing if you've been the one who did something wrong. This is about somebody coming in to communicate their feelings. This may not be like a grand gesture or a proposal, for example, but this would be somebody initiating conversation that's emotional in nature, where their experiences are, or their emotions are exposed. This is somebody who's taking the first steps towards being vulnerable with others. Cancer, Scorpio, Piscean energy, maybe you, maybe somebody you're dealing with, but this also looks like somebody, after having processed their pain, is now able to make the decision that's going to be most fulfilling for them out of these 7 of Cups options at the bottom of the deck. So that's your reading, Aquarius. I hope this resonated for you. Please like, share, subscribe. Definitely leave me comments if you have questions. If you have an anecdote that you want to tell that might pertain to the reading. And I hope that you guys enjoy fall as it rolls in on us. Thanks for watching. Now we're going to jump into the sign of Gemini. I'm just going to clear the deck of the previous readings, Gemini. Spirit, please clear the deck of all previous readings. Follows from the energies. Follow my energies. From the declare, channel, clear, and concise messages for the sign of Gemini. All right, Gemini. So you guys have Lilith opposite your sign right now. Not Black Moon Lilith, which is in Aries, but Waldorf. Let's see. You have Mercury in Libra getting ready to move into Scorpio, currently trining your sign. And you have Saturn moving into Aquarius, which is also going to be trining Gemini. So you guys have some heavy hitters slowly but surely making their way towards conversations with you for the rest of the year. Now we're all going to be impacted by the Mars retrograde energy and Mercury getting ready to station retrograde in Scorpio next month, along with Jupiter and Pluto during their little tango in Capricorn. However, I think you guys are actually going to get lucky in terms of how this energy is, the intensity with which this energy is impacting you, because there are less aspects. So let's see. Hopefully you guys can provide some clarity for your Libra friends, because they're going through it. We have some cards jumping out. We have the 2 of Cups, and we have the 9 of Wands in the reverse. Okay. Yeah, the other signs, especially the cardinal signs, are definitely going through it, because we have Mars retrograde, currently square Jupiter and Pluto. It's moving out of square aspect with Saturn as it travels into Aquarius. But yeah, those are both square in Libras. So all of those signs, including Cancer, who's being directly impacted by all of this energy, despite the fact that there aren't any planets in Cancer right now. So definitely just be aware if you're dealing with those energies or you have them in your chart. You're likely to be impacted more than other Geminis. But that you guys definitely are getting off a little bit easier. You have the freedom to progress according to your intentions because you're not being as hindered as others by the energy that's in play astrologically right now. So I'm going to get into your tarot reading, Spirit. What's going on for the sign of Gemini from the 21st of September, that card was already flipped over, through the 30th, for the sign of Gemini, for the 21st through the 30th of September 2020. Wow, Gemini. Okay. Your reading was all, ooh, at the bottom of the deck, we got the Tower. Yeah, it's about to be some shit. So let's get into it. We have the Tower in the upright. Anytime I find major arcana at the bottom of the deck, I always look underneath it. And we have the Nine of Pentacles with the World. Pentacles and the World. So something's coming to a sudden ending, likely a relationship. I say that because you have the Nine of Pentacles in the upright, and in the past you have the Two of Cups. So let's jump into your reading. In the past, you have the Two of Cups, Gemini. This is about two people who are very emotionally vulnerable with each other, two people who are very emotionally compatible, opening up, sharing their emotions, creating camaraderie and friendship, possibly love relationships. But this is about two people who are very close emotionally. They have a very close bond. This isn't like a soul tie or a karmic tie. This is two people who are consciously aware of bonding with one another. They're opening up to one another. They're sharing their emotions with one another. They may be facilitating each other's healing through the sharing of their emotions and their experiences. This is two people who have deep trust between them. The reason that they have deep trust between them is because they've been so open with each other, but also because they've been totally and unconditionally accepting of each other. Because it's hard to be vulnerable with people who have conditions placed on the love that they give for you. You know, you have to skirt around what you're telling them. These are two people who are completely open and naked with one another emotionally. They recognize and understand their shadows and the other person's shadows because they're sharing in that energy constantly. It's a symbiotic relationship. In your current situation, you have the Nine of Wands. It's like you've given up on a situation, probably with an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or you may have one of these placements. But this person is battle weary. They've come through a lot of conflict. They've come through a lot of opposition. They've put in a lot of work to get to a goal, to reach fruition, to win a battle, to reach a specific outcome. And they're tired because of what they've done, but there's more to do because they haven't yet reached the 10 and transcended it into the 8th. In the reverse, this person has lost steam. They've lost steam before they've arrived at the finish line, or they've consciously given up because of the amount of conflict, opposition, obstacles, and difficulty that they faced in the pursuit of their goal. They may no longer have support. And I say that because in the traditional deck, there's somebody walking up to him, I think. No, that's not. That's the after tarot. I'm tripping. Okay, but yeah. So usually this person is looking suspiciously at somebody who appears to be a comrade, but they're not yet sure, and they're so battle weary that they're not inclined to trust this person that's approaching them. However, this person's given up. They don't, not only do they trust in the support that may be approaching them, but they've lost steam and enthusiasm for completing the goal, for reaching the finish line, for manifesting the outcome. Unbeknownst to you though, Gemini, you have the Page of Cups in the upright. So there's still an emotional attachment. There's still a desire. There's somebody who has emotion, has deep feelings that they would like to share or communicate, forgiveness or an apology that they would like to make. Somebody is, yeah, it looks to me like somebody is sorry. The Nine of Wands is looking directly at the Two of Cups. Right, that's not how it goes. It goes like this. The Nine of Wands is looking at the Two of Cups here. And what I sense is that you've given up on a situation. You may have lost trust for this person that you were closely bonded to because they didn't follow through on something. But unbeknownst to you, this person is in the very beginning stages of a healing process. And they may be wanting your forgiveness or wanting to make apologies towards you. This is Cancer, Scorpio, Piscean energy. This may be somebody who wants to make an offer of love to you, and you're sort of giving up on love. If this is a relationship situation, you sort of given up hope that you can have what it is that you want in the end. But this person still has some emotions or some communication of an emotional nature that may change your outlook. Your hopes and fears are the Knight of Wands. You may be dealing with an Aquarius. They had this card pop out in the same position. But this is about fast forward movement in a new direction. This is about courageously pursuing what it is that you want from life, what it is that you want, who it is that you want, the experiences that you wish to learn from and grow wiser from. This is Sagittarian energy specifically, could be an Aries or a Leo. You're wanting progress. You're wanting to carry everything with you that you have right now into the future. But you're wanting to move into the future quite quickly. So it's almost as if you're tempted to give up on trying to drag people along with you because you're ready for forward movement. And this person has their back turned to you. So they may not be aware of just how quickly you're looking to move. Just how enthused you are about a situation. What they're focused on right now is this healing, this emotion, this need for forgiveness or to make or receive an apology. They may be focused on new experiences emotionally or a new child with the Page of Cups. Somebody may have recently given birth. I recognize that everything I'm saying might not resonate with all of you. Some things will pertain to your situation and some things won't, like the pregnancy, for example. But definitely there's an energy unbeknownst to you that has the potential for healing and emotional satisfaction for you, Gemini. And then in your environment, you have the moon in the reverse. This is Piscean and Cancerian energy. You may be dealing with a Cancer or Pisces, especially with the pages and the Two of Cups. In particular, Cancerian energy, who's ruled by the moon, and then this Venus in Cancer. But with the moon in the reverse, this is coming out of the illusions that cause you to be in an upset emotional state. Somebody is coming out of illusions. Somebody is breaking through a dark night. If you look at this, it's literally a dark night of the soul. And this person is sort of climbing out of the muck of their own shadow identity and going towards the light. They're literally coming out of the dark night of the soul, a deep depressive episode, some sort of event that caused emotional trauma that was so deep that they could focus on nothing but it for a time until it was processed, healed, and transcended. This is somebody that was dealing with a lot of illusions due to the situations and how they impacted their emotions, and they not only had to transcend their illusions, but the emotional state that resulted from the events that caused those illusions, that caused that uncertainty, that caused them to be unable to see clearly. This is somebody who's likely been deceived or betrayed in some way, in a very deep and cutting way, Gemini. And so you need to be aware if you're losing patience or enthusiasm for crossing the finish line or reaching fruition or working with this person, that you take into account their emotional state and how that may have impacted their ability to make progress, what their situation is in their own life, if you're aware of that, and how that may have impacted their ability to progress, to work with you, to collaborate with you, to get the job done according to your expectations and not leave you feeling drained and tired, overworked, and mistrustful of them. Because this is obviously somebody that you have deep emotional trust with. Your advice, though, is to make the decision. Actually, it's to take time. The King of Swords in reverse is willfully looking away from facts, because the he's a king, so he has control of the sword. That means he's able to gather the information that he wants. He has clarity, he has communication, and he has the skill. He's mastered the art of strategy. However, in the reverse, he's almost willfully looking away from the truth. He is, he's remaining silent because he's uncertain, rather than taking control and asking the necessary questions, communicating his perspective. Trust me, Gemini, and I think I have to say this with a lot of my Gemini people. When you become aware of something that's problematic for you, especially in a bond like the Two of Cups, where it's somebody that you're very close to, and you become suspicious, you become weary of dealing with that person, communicate it to them. Communicate it clearly and in no uncertain terms what the issues are. Make that decision and follow through on it and take control of the situation, because nobody who loves you this deeply, who trusts you this openly, is going to turn you away, reject you, or break your trust because you've communicated a boundary, a need, an expectation, or a trigger. Whatever it is that your issue with this person is, you need to communicate it with them. This is about vulnerability, sharing feelings. Talk to them. And then your outcome is the Ten of Swords. Everything is fine. So it's almost like now I shuffle both of these cards in the deck. There's the regular Ten of Swords, and then there's this card, everything is fine. And every time I see this card, I get that there's still an ending, but it's less an ending of the situation or a difficult, harsh ending. It's necessary, and it's likely not to be harsh, although it may come unexpectedly for whoever or other people dealing in the situation. For me, this is, rather than the situation coming to a difficult end, it's like the cycle that made the situation difficult comes to an end. The cycle of combativeness, of lack of the inability to trust, of the inability to follow through, of the inability to communicate when you need to communicate in order to reach fruition. Gemini, it's coming to an end. The cycle that facilitates that, that perpetuates that sort of energy, that betrayal, deceptive, combative, narcissistic energy here. Don't be a narcissist, Gemini. Don't be so ruthless in your desire to get what you want, to get the responses that you want, to get the communication, the love, the participation that you want, that you become malicious, that you become abusive, that you become deceptive, that you begin to act without your integrity in line and in pocket. Because the outcome is still an ending. And this ending is likely to be facilitated by you cutting out that bullshit, or by you cutting somebody else off if they're unable to separate from that bullshit, because you have somebody else in your environment that's ready to, invest emotionally. They're ready to get something started. They're ready to open up, talk about their feelings, invest emotionally in you. And by making that decision and following it up with your actions, you bring an ending to a situation that was causing you some stress, that was causing you anxiety, that was maybe keeping you from pursuing progress in the way that you thought that you would. And this is definitely sudden. It's almost like something happens, somebody communicates feelings, emotions, or intentions, and you're called to quickly cut through anything that's deceptive, quickly cut through anything that's incomplete, quickly cut through anything that's grounded, and in that cycle before it even, gets underway, before it impacts your 9 of Pentacles and your world, before. Break down those unsteady foundations right now. That's what this King of Swords is telling you to do. If you know that the foundations in certain situations, relationships, projects, environments are unstable, or built or built on shadowy energy. It could be stable, but it can be built on lies. It can be stable, but it can be built on material need. It could be stable, but not feeding you spiritually, emotionally, not engaging your mind the way that you require in order to feel content. Get rid of it. Get rid of it quick, fast, and in a hurry, and don't offer any warnings, or you know what I mean? That's what the Tower is about. Shake that shit up. So that's your reading, Gemini. I hope that it resonated for you. You have air energy, Aquarius, Libra, possibly another Gemini. You also have Sagittarius, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And you also have Aries energy here. So like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know how these readings resonated for you. The information to order a reading is in the description box below, as always, along with the link to get your birth chart or to connect with me via social media. I look forward to hearing from you all, and I will see you on the full moon in Aries. Thanks for watching.